Welcome back to the Diaspora channel and happy weekend. I hope you guys are all well and thanks so much for tuning in tonight. How is life treating you? If you're new here, I'm Kayi Gabiam and I promote Black owned businesses on this platform. I also interview entrepreneurs so they can share their experiences and journeys with us. Not only that, but their service and product as well. So if you're a business owner out there watching me right now, email me at the diaspora channel at gmail.com and you will be able to join me live to share your product or services with us. Bonjour, bonsoir, j'espère que vous allez super bien. Moi, je suis Kayi Gabiam et je mets en avant les business black-owned sur cette plateforme. Donc, si vous êtes entrepreneur et vous voulez aussi me joindre ici live pour partager vos produits ou services avec nous, envoyez-moi simplement un mail sur les Diaspora Channel @gmail.com et vous serez en mesure aussi de me joindre ici pour partager vos produits ou services. Je fais aussi des entretiens avec les frères et sœurs qui ont quitté l'Occident pour aller s'installer en Afrique, qui partagent aussi leurs expériences avec nous. Et ce soir, nous recevons Rachelle Gray. Rachelle est mère d'un enfant. Elle est entrepreneur, écrivaine et aussi la fondatrice de iCune. Et ce soir, Rachelle est là pour partager ses écrits avec nous. Son tout premier book s'appelle en fait Kinsgston Burning. Ça, c'est son tout premier livre et elle nous parlera de ça. Et bien sûr, elle nous dira aussi là où vous pouvez commander ce livre. Bien sûr, je suis sûre que vous voulez en savoir plus sur elle. Donc, elle nous dira plus sur ça aussi. Et là, actuellement, Rachelle, une afro-descendante, elle a quitté les États-Unis pour aller s'installer au Sénégal. Donc, ce soir, elle partagera avec nous son expérience vivant au Sénégal. Donc, on va beaucoup apprendre ce soir. Si c'est votre première fois sur ma chaîne, n'oubliez pas de vous abonner surtout et activer votre cloche afin de ne pas rater mes nouvelles vidéos. So guys, tonight we have another interesting guest. Yes, her name is Rachelle Gray. Rachelle is an entrepreneur. She's a writer. She's also the founder of iCune, a mother of one. And Rachelle moved recently to Senegal. And she's here tonight to tell us more about her debut novel, Kinsgston Burning, and also how is life treating her in Dakar, Senegal. So everything you need to know about Senegal, I'm sure Rachelle will be able to help us with some of your questions. Yes, some of your questions. So guys, kindly give this stream a thumbs up and share as well with family and friends so they can also join us and ask questions. We are all here to learn tonight. That's what this platform is all about. So wherever you are, I hope you're patronizing our businesses. That is very, very important. Our businesses matter. So wherever you are, keep patronizing them. And I'm going to add our beautiful Rachelle now. Rachelle.
Hi.
Hello, Rachelle. Thanks so much for joining the show tonight. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. Thank you for having me. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm so happy that we're finally doing this.
Yes.
Awesome, Rachelle. I would love you to tell the viewers a little bit about yourself. Introduce yourself. Tell us who is Rachelle, and what you do as well, because they are here to learn about you and everything going on in Senegal, Dakar. So the floor is yours, Rachelle.
Oh, wow. Good afternoon. You make me sound like I'm the ambassador to
Oh, you are.
Senegal. I'm Rachelle. I'm the ambassador. No, I'm just joking. So essentially, I am of Caribbean and American heritage. My family comes from Barbados. and I was born and grew up in America as well. So between the two places. Currently, I am in Dakar, Senegal. I'm writing my second novel. It is amazing when you get here, well, when you get here, because I'm talking like if everyone is coming. When you get here, you will realize, or for me, the experience was that I was very inspired by Senegal. And while my novel might not be about hair in particular, the environment is really great for me as a creative to be able to be inspired and energized, and therefore that's what I'm here doing. I am a writer. I'm a freelance writer. I write for some magazines. One based in Florida, Island Origins magazine, and I'm the author of Kinsgston Burning, and I also run a publication called Trod Culture, which is on Medium, so it's medium.com, Trod, where I also write about people and their life experiences as it intertwined with mine, people that I meet along my trod, because everyone's on a trod.
Great, 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 Rachelle. I know before actually moving to Senegal, you are originally from Barbados, last, as you mentioned, and at some point you moved back to Barbados, right?
Yes. So, oh
So,
my gosh, it was always back and forth, back and forth.
oh wow.
So, yeah, so I lived in America, I go to Barbados, lived in Barbados, went back to America. It's just,
So
I
how was
mean,
that experience for you?
I mean, it's really honestly, I think the best thing or one of the best things that could have happened to me
Mm,
was when my mom made the decision that we leave. 'Cause at the time we were living in Los Angeles, California, and she decided she wanted to move back home, her home being Barbados. And that has made me who I am now more than
mm.
anything, because it has added a dimension to my Americanness, which I really, really appreciate. And it just opened my eyes to understanding a lot of different things. Actually, that experience helps me to communicate. Like when I meet a lot of different folks from African countries, for instance, I met a brethren once years ago from Botswana, two different ends of the world we come from, but we had the British system. We had the similar education. We went through similar things because of the whole colonial experience. So I think like being in Barbados kind of opened me to things that being just, if I were solely an American, I would not have experienced. So that allowed me to see the world in a three-dimensional manner.
Okay. Thanks for sharing that with us. So, Rachel, I would love to know, is it like your first time being in Africa, or have you visited before actually
So
moving to Senegal?
So the first time I came was in 2018. That was my first ever time. Like there's only one first, but I had to tell you it 5 times. We did a brief stop in Morocco, and before coming to Senegal, and then I basically came to Senegal and did a whole adventure of as much of Senegal as I could see within the time that I was here. It's a big place, even though it's not the biggest country on the continent. It is sizable. I mean, I'm coming from an island that's 21 miles long and 14 miles across, or a region that is a bunch of a collection of small islands, to come to this big country. So it was 2018 was the first, yeah, and then I kept coming back and forth.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So, one thing that I've noticed with, brothers and sisters in the diaspora, when it comes to francophone countries, some of them are a little bit like, oh, due to the language barrier, they are not very comfortable, like bold when it comes to them visiting or moving down to a francophone country. So I would love to know if you have some connections in Senegal before moving down there, or you just, like this is
I
it,
just came. This
this is
is
for me.
it. I mean, for instance, when I chose to go to university, I remember I was like 16, 17, and I was like, where am I
Mm,
going to go to university? And I was going to university in America. And even though I'm a New Yorker, I chose to go to school in another state
Mm.
before then transferring back. But I chose to go to school in another state, in a city where there absolutely no one knew me and I knew no one, because I felt like being on my own, so to speak, would give me that thing that I needed to be able to figure out how to maneuver. So sometimes I guess it depends on who you are and the situation that you're going into. Sometimes you need to know people. Sometimes it's nice to have someone to receive you on the other end, of course, because it makes the landing. We talk about soft landings a lot within the community of people who have moved back. But sometimes you want to try it on your own. So no, I didn't know anyone here at all, not a single person. I mean, I've met Senegalese in New York,
Wow.
like that years prior to me deciding to actually come visit. So I came visit. People get up and go to Europe all the time and don't know nobody there. People get up and go all kinds of places all the
Mhm.
time. So I don't know why Africa should be any different. If you have the adventure spirit,
Go for
yeah,
it.
go for
Wow.
it.
I love that boldness. And, I hope this will inspire more people that will listen to this or what are watching this right now, because it's all about taking a leap of faith and just go for it. And it's once
Yes.
you are there on the other side, you're going to find out what is what, isn't it? No matter how
Yes.
much research you do.
No matter how much you plan, it is so true, because I mean, you can plan as much as, and this is not to say that I did not put in my research. I did the
Mhm.
research.
Mm.
The first time that I did want to come was in 2016, but it didn't work out then. So I had done my research, and you have to realize that places evolve. So I kept mindful of what was happening and kept an eye on what was going on to decide, okay, is this still the place that I want to visit? So my thing is, like, anytime you're going anywhere, if you're going to Venice, you're gonna research where to stay, what to do, what tour to take, what to eat. That's the same thing. If you're coming here, you do that. Yeah.
Love, love, love that, Rachelle. So, uh, my question that, since we connected, I'm like, I really need to ask Rachel. Now I know, but I would love you to share this with the viewers. Like, why did you choose Senegal?
Oh, well, that's spirit. That's spirit. And for me, life, spirit is a very important part of life. I find that when you're obedient to spirit, and life kind of goes the way that it's supposed to go. My son is who presented the idea to me. If there was anywhere in the world that you would go, where would it be? So I had to think about it. At the time, he was probably like 11, 11, 12. He was like, where would you go? So I actually sat with myself and I was like, well, where would I go? I mean, this is a big world. I knew that I did not want to redo the American experience. America is a beautiful country. It is vast. It's not. Sometimes we watch television and we think that America is just probably New York or Miami, or we think it's just CSI with lots of death and or maybe whatever. But America is a beautiful country, huge expanses of mountain ranges and plains and everything that you could think about.
Hmm.
But I wanted something more. I wanted something different. The Caribbean is a beautiful region. I mean, I've been fortunate for work to visit Trinidad and Jamaica and St. Lucia, Dominica, um,
Wow.
Vincent and stuff. So and there's still more islands that I want to visit. I'm coming St. Croix. I really want to get there. But I wanted a different experience than a Caribbean experience. And I felt like it's very important. I guess I was reflecting also, you hit a milestone birthday or what have you not. And it occurred to me, like, but the motherland. And you meet a
Hmm.
lot of people who have come here. I remember I was working on a project back in 2016. And, one of the gentlemen I met, he was talking about when he backpacked across Africa. That was a
Oh,
thing for him.
wow.
I know. I was like, okay. I think he was from Ireland, and he had backpacked across Africa. And I was like,
Oh.
that sounds like something. I don't know if I'm a backpack across Africa, but like, why haven't I thought about this thing? So I thought about it. I said to my son, I'm thinking Senegal. I think I would love to
Mm,
do Senegal. And whenever I thought about it, whenever I said the word Senegal, whenever I thought of the imagery of Senegal, a place I've never been to,
mm,
I just felt good. I felt good. And I think that that was it. And, I talked to a sister of mine. She's very spiritual. And I said, what is the guidance? And she was like, yo, the guidance says Senegal. So I'm like, that's where we're coming. We're going to come here.
and it's so interesting the fact that it was actually your son that kind of put those
Yeah.
ideas in your mind,
Yeah.
because most of the time teenagers, especially when it's an environment they are not familiar with, they're like,
Hmm.
no,
Yeah.
no, uh, so that is very, very
I think,
nice to
I,
hear.
I think he wanted. I think he sensed that we needed an adventure. He
Mm.
was with me here for a while, but then he last year. It's been a year now.
Oh.
He hasn't been here. Last year he decided, okay, I'm gonna hang out in Barbados and chill with the other side of the family, and that's cool
Mhm.
because we did like a good trip. We did
And
2018
did he
to.
like it there when he was in
Yeah,
Senegal?
listen, you say Chabu Jen and he will turn up. He loves the food. He loves the everything. He's like, Mom, you have to figure out a way to send me some chakri. I'm like, okay, I'm in the supermarket and I'm photographing frozen chakri. I'm like, I don't know how to get it on the plane to you because it might not be good when it reaches. The food, this is a football playing country.
Hmm.
There are a lot of boys his age.
Right.
Not only that, like you acclimate. This is something that is so, so important. You have to
Hmm.
prepare yourself and your children anytime you're
Mhm.
going to do something that is life changing.
True.
So if you go to a pet store to purchase new fish, you don't just buy your new fish, go home and just dump it into the aquarium. You keep it in a
Mhm.
bag and you rest the bag inside of the aquarium so that the water that the fish are in
Mhm.
acclimates to the water that the aquarium is, and then eventually you release the fish into
Hmm.
that water. So you don't just get up and decide, okay, I'm coming to a particular place just like that without acclimating as much as you can before you get here. Yeah.
Mhm.
So we did our research. I have my ears are very open, so I listen to a lot of different types of music. You know, as long as it's music and it sounds good, it makes it into my realm. So we read a lot, and he was hands on in the process of where we're going to stay, what we're going to do, how long
Oh.
we're going to, so that he had a say. And one of the things that was very important, I always said to him, anytime that you are ready to go back home,
Mhm.
you let me know. You have two
Oh.
parents. I am here. Your father's on the other side of the Atlantic.
Mhm.
Anytime you're ready, you just say.
Wow. So inspiring and interesting. I wish, like, he was here as well to share his far, like, his experience living some time over there
Yeah,
in Dakar, because especially for, like, parents with teenagers, it can be quite challenging, when you kind of trying to move them from what they are used to. But actually coming from him, I'm very, very impressed. Very,
I,
very impressed.
I
Yeah.
would love to really say this. There was a point actually, because first we stayed in the south of Senegal, which is very tropical. It's not like how Dakar is more like a Sahel type,
Mm,
arid kind of, semi-arid kind of environment. And we stayed in the south of Senegal first, and there are huge mango trees. We're from the
mm,
Caribbean. We eat mango. The food is it's not the same, but it's
right.
similar. Even here in Dakar, when I'm feeling for Caribbean food, I go to the Ivorian restaurant and get some Cote d'Ivoire food. I get, the aloko and the
Oh,
pasta,
okay.
right? Because I mean, we fry plantains in the Caribbean. So when I want plantain
Mm,
and fish, I
mm,
go to the aquarium. But my thing is, there was a point where I remember him saying, are you sure that we are not still in the Caribbean? Because there are many things. We came here and found many things that were so similar, whether it's the plants, the bougainvillea, the coconut trees, whether it's that everyone plays football and he loves football. Different, just
okay.
things that, even though as with all the myriad of differences, you know, we found many things that felt like home. So I think that kind of helped us to acclimate, because
Mm.
maybe if we came directly, say, from a primarily American setting, that was not as that, you know, that was just different. I think that it might have been harder for him to adjust. But there were many things that were similar to how we behave in the Caribbean. Yeah.
So would you say it was a little bit challenging for you
It
coming
was
from
challenging, but it just wasn't.
like an English-speaking country to a francophone country? Was it challenging for you?
Okay, so first of all, right, the rule goes, you write French in Senegal, you speak Wolof.
Okay.
Somebody should have told me that before I got on the plane, because Wikipedia said, yeah,
Mm,
Rochelle, they speak French. French is their official language. And
mm,
that's all well and good when you are, say, like in a tourist area, or you're in Dakar, or you're dealing with business. But
mm.
here, really and truly, you write French, you speak Wolof.
Right.
So, um,
And I think Wolof is also the official language, same
yes,
as
it's also the official language. But when you hear, because if you go on Wikipedia, they'll tell you, okay, it's French and Wolof. So you're thinking like, okay, well, even if I don't
mm,
know one, I can
mm.
get through with the other.
Wow.
Um, yeah, you gotta. At some point, I it's so funny, because at some point it's like, I remember one time getting on a
Mm,
bus
mm.
and having to change because the person put me on the wrong bus, and I realized I was on the wrong bus. And
Oh.
when we got to the gas station, it was like late in the night. We're in the middle of nowhere, but I have a good sense of direction, so I knew that we were not where we were supposed to be. And I
Mm,
said to the conductor, I was like, in my best French, I was like, where's the place that we're looking for? And he
mm.
started to speak to me. He started out in French, but then he switched over into Wolof, because after the first sentence, like, he's done with that. That's enough French, like, oh, okay, now let's talk. And then I said to him, but he's like, then he looked at me, he's like, but you don't speak Wolof. And I'm like, no, I don't. He's like, nah, you're in Senegal. You have to
Uh,
learn Wolof. So now I'm tasked, which is something I do want to learn, because it's a beautiful language. So now I'm tasked with having to learn both French and Wolof.
Well, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You know, languages will take you like so far in life, because some people they just rely on English and they're like, oh, everywhere you go, people speak English. I say, yeah, but at the same time, you are not losing, anything if you go ahead and learn French. If you have to learn French, or Wolof in this case, and it depends. It's always going to be a good thing to learn another language. So,
Always. I agree with you. No, I totally agree with you, because when I try to speak to people here,
mm,
sometimes like, if they hear the accent, it's always the
mm.
accent, because apparently I have a American accent when I speak French. That's what they say. So when I
Yeah,
try to
they
speak
pick
to,
it up.
they pick it up quick. And so what happens is that
Yeah.
they try to speak to me in English, because they
Mm.
see this now as an opportunity for them to,
Practice.
yes. So many times I have to say, no, 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 let me speak the Wolof, let me speak the French, because I need to. And they're like, no, 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 we speak English. So they want to practice, they use it, they see it as like, yo, this is my opportunity to either dust off my old English that I haven't used since secondary school, or
Mm.
to show you that I too have English skills. So sometimes I'm just like, it's not even like me trying to say, okay, I have the language that is the currency of the world. It's me trying to say, dude, I can speak. Let me speak something else, please. I need to learn how to do this. Yeah, but
Rachelle, you're so, so humble. When I was, the fact that you said, oh, when you go somewhere, well, we're going to touch on that. So for now, I'm just going to leave it there. Yeah, because, people need to hear this. It's so good, like to say, oh, we want to go to Africa. Oh, we want to go to this country, Gambia or Zambia or Senegal or Cote d'Ivoire. But it's very, very important to have open mind and be humble and learn from the locals, and then learn from you as well. So you take humility to
yeah.
do that. So Rachel, as an American citizen, how is it like when it comes to open a bank account? What are the requirements if you want to open a bank account? Starting a business, or like how often do you renew even your stay in the country?
So what they do here, because I'm in, I think there are two expat groups on Facebook. So the first thing I would say, if you're ever going anywhere, you might not view yourself as an expat. You might even think of yourself as a repat, whatever kind of pat you think you are. Join one of the Facebook groups. Um, because it's a wealth of information and people are
Mm,
always they're always saying, oh, I'm coming to Dakar, should I open a bank account? So for Senegal, for example, it's
right.
really not that difficult to open a bank account. Things change all the time, so it's always best. My advice is to join the groups, let them know that you're coming, ask the things that you want to know. Sometimes
Wow.
people say, okay, well, what are my finances going to look like? What does it cost? Someone might come into the chat and say, okay, well, a guard is going to cost this, a maintenance person, this is the
Yeah.
type of rent if you're in this particular place.
Hmm.
This is where you can open your account, what have you not. One of the beautiful things I would say that is happening here is we have, I don't know how to describe it. I call it phone currency. Phone currency is essentially if you put money onto your phone. So whoever your service provider is, imagine wherever you are that you have your service provider, and your service provider allows you to top up or recharge your phone to put money, actual cash, onto your phone. Wave, there's a company called Wave here that does that. So what
Right.
Wave allows you to do is that as an American, you can
Mm,
actually, if you need to put, because this is one of the things that people advise in the chats and the expat group. They're like, sometimes it's not necessary per se to have to open a bank account
mm.
because you can do Wave. And Wave allows you, if you have like a PayPal account that
Uh-huh.
is attached to your American account, to then take, if someone's paying you via PayPal, to then
Mm.
put the money into your American account and then you send it to your Wave, which then it turns up on your phone wherever you are,
Okay.
where Wave is used. So those are options. I mean, that's not a secret. You're not undermining any system. That's a totally legitimate service.
So,
If you
so
Google
what
it,
are
Wave.
those groups, Rachel? I would like you to share maybe few of those groups you're talking about. So,
So what to
if you have
do?
any offhand, yeah.
Yeah. So what to do? There's one called 11. I think it's that. It's expat something. If you go onto Facebook and you type in expat groups Dakar or wherever you are,
Okay.
they will come up. There will be a list of them that will come up. There's
Okay.
one called Dakarium, for example, and with Dakarium is split into different groups. There's
Okay.
Dakarium, Turfs, and Cribs. So if you're looking for somewhere to stay, that
Mm.
that particular group will show you people who are renting rooms, renting houses, renting properties, what have you not. Then there's another one that would say, like if you have stuff for sale, you're leaving because a lot of people are leaving at this time. The contracts are renewing or ending or what have you not. Where do I sell? What have you not? And then you will have a group, which is like a general group, which will say,
Right.
okay, um, my electricity is off. Who do I call? Someone just, hit the pole or the wire is down. Who do I
Mm.
call? I just had a run in with a John Dom. They stopped me and gave me a traffic ticket. Is this legal? Different things like there's even a group. There's also WhatsApp groups. There's a WhatsApp group where they tell you how to do your whole citizenship process.
Oh, wow.
So if you go into one of the expat groups and you say, okay, can someone tell me? Someone is bound to put the link and tell you join this particular group. This group, they will put you through the whole process for how much it costs, who to help you with, all the different stamps and different things that you need in order to do whatever you want to do. It's really just about a question. Whatever question you have, there's always an answer. As long as it's in your mind, there's always an answer. So my thing is, even though Facebook for me is like, I'm more of an Instagram person. Facebook shines when it comes to their groups because the groups, that's a wealth of knowledge. And sometimes when you go into a group They will advise you before you ask the question. Just search the group to see if there's information in there, and you'll be surprised what will come up. You might search a group and put in that thing, like you might be thinking about buying a car here, and you might say buying a car in Senegal, and then you see all the previous posts that would have pertained to that activity, telling you what to do, the difference between the different license plates, etc. So yeah. And then, of course, as an American citizen, there's always the embassy. That's what the embassy is here for. So, yeah.
That's so good, guys. So don't be in your corner and be thinking, oh, because I can't speak the language, oh, I won't be bothered to go into that country. For those of you that are interested, you know that you can join my French classes and learn French. If that is just like so big of a deal for you before even visiting any Francophone country, I will encourage you to join. And
I think
like
that's
Rachel
wise.
mentioned, yeah, there are lots of groups. So it's also a very, very good avenue when it comes to those of you that want to have some connections in those countries, in this case, Senegal, before even visiting or moving down there. Join those groups now and,
Yes.
just have some discussions, let know who is there, know about who is there, learn from them, and just prepare properly before even making that move. Anything you want to
I
add,
think,
Rachel?
I think and the thing is I'll tell you, and I didn't know or even think to have joined the groups before, because this is the other thing when you're moving to another country. I think well, I don't know about other people, but for me it took me a minute to realize that I was actually doing this. Like, you physically move, and then I think like your mind then moves after and says, okay, you're not where you have come from. So
Mhm.
basically, like, I would have, like, I'm in groups in Barbados. I'm in
Wow.
Facebook groups in Barbados. I'm in Facebook groups in Florida. But it just never occurred to me to join Facebook groups in Dakar. And then, like, one day, like, I was just talking to a sister, and she was like, yeah, you should join if you're
Mhm.
looking for this, this, and this. And that's when
Wow.
she hit me basically to realizing the importance of groups. So if there's
Mhm.
one thing that I would say, if there's definitely one thing you're going to do,
Mhm.
definitely check out the groups. And the beautiful things about the groups is that everyone is learning. No one knows the only answer. Sometimes people want to
Wow.
know, like, they'll come in and be like, oh, can you tell us, do I still need, what is the policy if I'm coming in from England? Do I still need a
Mhm.
COVID test? My
Mhm.
mom is coming from Turkey. So and so is flying in from South Africa.
Mhm.
And the group is not an American group. It's basically people who either are Senegalese that have returned, it's people
Wow.
who are not Senegalese who have returned, people who are married to Senegalese.
Mhm.
It's like it's a very good resource, and it's also good because everyone is bringing a skill, everyone is bringing some kind of talent, and it's not just you're going there just to take. You can
Mhm.
also be there if someone asks a question that you have an answer to. If they ask that kind of question, you can put your 2 cents, as we would say at home. You can give your 2 cents as well. So I think it's really good. Some people, I've seen people even say, I'm here. I would like to meet people. That's one of the things you see. They say, they'll tell you the type of people they want to meet. I come with my
Wow.
children. My children are this particular age. These are the things we like to do.
Mhm.
Does anyone want to meet me? So don't think that you have to come here and you're not. No, send out the notice first and be like, I'm coming. I'm coming for a month.
Yes.
I'm coming to do this. This is my interest.
Correct.
I want to surf. I want to swim with the dolphins. I want to, hike through the desert. And
Mhm.
there's someone that's going to say, oh, really? Join me. I'll hang out
Mhm.
with you. I know
Mhm.
someone. I know somewhere. This is what to do.
That's the way. That's the way to go. And make sure, like, when you go around things like this, it's going to make you feel confident when you're ready. Yeah, that
Yes.
is what you guys supposed to do, especially if you're looking forward to now. Rachelle mentioned Senegal. It could, definitely might be like some for Ivory Coast, Benin,
Definitely.
so
Wherever people
going
are.
definitely. So, um, one. favorite topic on this platform is the cost of living. I know I know everybody's lifestyle is different, right? But when it comes to a single person, for example, you know, planning to live in Dakar, how much will you say roughly, on a monthly basis, transportation, food, you know?
We have a saying in Dakar. There's a saying in Senegal. Dakar
Oh,
eats your money. Dakar
oh,
eats your money. That is a saying. You say that. You say to anybody, "I'm going to Dakar." Oh, Dakar eats your money. Dakar
yeah.
is share, 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 share.
Oui, yeah. Expensive, yeah.
So, so Dakar does eat your money. There's actually, I'm not even
Mm.
gonna try my Wolof out, but there's a greeting in Wolof that says, "Are you eating your money?" So I would greet you and be like, "Hi, how you doing?"
Rachelle, I
Are-
want to learn that right now. How do you say that?
no, don't put me on the spot. But there's actually a saying, if someone would say, "Are you eating your money?" And you're like, No." So,
Oh,
yeah, so that should kind of give you a sense of what it's like. The
mm,
prices, it depends on the type, again, of kind of lifestyle that you want to have.
mm, mm.
I don't take the bus. I'm not a bus. I don't take the bus, but sometimes I like a little adventure and I will hop on a car rapide. That's like the cheapest mode of transport that you will come across. I
Ah,
personally, I like to come outside, put my hand up, and catch a taxi.
mm,
Expensive is relative because when I think of taking a taxi here versus
yeah.
taking the Uber or the Lyft or the taxi in America, it's different. It's a different price point altogether. Even the taxi from here to like where the airport is, the price is technically cheaper than if you were to take a Uber for the same distance and you were living in America, a major city in America. Food, my policy for food is that I eat what is where I am. So when I'm in America, I eat American food. When I'm in Barbados, I like Bajan food. And in Senegal, I love Senegalese food. Actually, that is one of Senegal's star qualities. So it depends. I go to the market and shop because
Can you
my
cook? Can you cook? Check, check.
yeah, I'm working on my chef skills. My
Okay.
chef working on it. I
Okay.
plan when I go home next
Mm.
year, I'm gonna cook a whole pot of chep for my people. So I'm working on it.
Uh-oh.
Term-
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Yes,
Uh-oh.
yes, yes,
Rachel.
yes.
Rachel, that's when you go home. You are not actually cooking it for your Senegalese brothers and sisters to taste it and mark
No,
it.
listen. I know how to shop market for my chef ingredients. I have
Okay.
half of it. I have half of it down pat. The cooking, but I'm fine tuning certain qualities of it, certain parts,
Okay.
like the tamarind sauce. I want to get my tamarind sauce a little bit more on point. It's not where I want it to be yet, but cheb, oh my gosh, there's nothing like it. So for instance, I love cheb. You can eat reasonably. You can eat high end if you want. There are places that are very, very expensive. It all depends on what you want
So,
to do.
Rochelle, if you say reasonably, how
Okay,
much are we talking about? 5,000 francs, 15 000, 20
okay.
000?
So our average a chep would be like 2 000.
Oh,
Just one
okay.
a plat, just a plat of chep. It's like a
Okay.
2 000. If you go somewhere, it might, a little bit thing. It might be a 3 000, but chep is like a staple.
Okay. So roughly
If you
two, £2, £3 roughly.
Yeah, if
Okay.
you
Now.
want to get like a dorade, say a grilled fish,
Mm.
and a loco or a cheque, you can you can do that like a cat meal at a nice
Okay.
restaurant. Like there's one of my favorite restaurants is Taral. I'm advertising you Taral, but it's Taral. They have really great fish, and I mean like when I say a fish, like a fish, like
Mm.
no, it's not like a little imaginary fish. It's like a huge fish that you can like actually sit and say, okay, I'm really full. So you can get like say cat meal. So
Mm.
basically, cat meal, sound meal would give you like a lunch or a dinner.
Okay.
But if you want to go fancy, like there's a Thai restaurant that I really, really, really like. So if I eat there, that might put me in a D meal kind of situation, but
Okay.
it's worth it. And the other thing that I must confess is that I don't eat meat. So my budget is different from meat eater budget because I'm a pescatarian. I eat fish, I eat shrimp, and I eat lots of vegetables. So it's mango season now. So my life is full of mangoes, not cake.
Mm.
I eat lots of oranges and bananas. I try to buy local as much as possible. And I've started my own kitchen garden. So,
Oh, interesting.
and this is something I really want to share.
Why are you growing? Why are you growing?
So right now I have passion fruit. I
Okay.
have I have I have some seeds planted for green pepper, and I have green pepper, the hot pepper, the Scotch bonnet pepper,
Mm,
the hot,
mm.
yeah, you know that. I have those planted, cucumber planted, and I have just some mint and some basil right now. Just nothing much. I just started. It's small. I'm starting. I just
Oh, that's
started.
good.
So I'm going, and I have tomatoes, cherry tomatoes that I've planted. So once
That
they,
is a lot already. At
oh,
least six, six solid, good vegetables that, I love personally. So that is amazing.
one of the
And
Oh,
yeah,
go ahead. No,
go
no. I
on.
was going to tell you, as far as prices, one of the things that I like about Senegal is that if you buy in bulk, you get a good price. So if you have a big family and you buy like a big bag of rice, yeah, you will get or a big bag of potatoes. I realize that their families, because most people here are like in abundance, so they'll buy like a big bag of onions, and they buy in bulk essentially. So you do get really good prices when you buy in bulk. But for someone like me, sometimes I cook and I just buy saffron green onions. I say, okay, sometimes I'm like, give me just 50 green onions because it's just me, 50 green
Yeah,
onions, 50
very good.
parsley. But I like that. I like that you can shop based on what you want. You cannot go to certain places and be like, I just want $1 of green
Mm,
peppers. But here you can
yeah,
do that.
which is good. Very, very good.
Yeah.
So, Rachelle, as American citizen, can you buy land or property in Senegal?
So I am looking at land. I'm very, very interested in agriculture land. I would like to have a farm. I want to farm. I love, I love farming. I want to farm in some places. So you can buy land here. There are, I think, 3 different ways that you can do it. There's a
Okay.
type, there's a type of lease that you can do. I think that's like a 99 year or something. Then there's actual where you own it, and then there's actually like a kind of rent to own situation. That's kind of my
Mm,
knowledge. Of course, you can always call, and of course, they're always go into those chats, and you can ask people. You can ask people questions like, who did they use?
mm,
Always buy your land from someone who like use the recommended person. So if someone recommends that, Babacar is the person that they use for their land deal, you might
mhm.
use Babacar because as with, I think this is kind of common, unfortunately. I've heard it in other places in the continent.
Yeah.
You might
I,
think you bought a piece of land.
I know exactly where
you
this
might
conversation is going.
you might think you bought a piece of land, but you bought,
There
and
are
then
10 people already.
10 people already own it. Actually, there's a case here like that with a guy. He sold the land, and this guy here actually bought all of this land. He bought land for all his children, his wife, his everybody, and then to find out that only three of the parcels of land that he bought were
Mm,
actually legitimately his. So one of the first things I remember being told is, if you buy land, make sure that there is, I remember someone's like, make sure that that person can sell it, and make sure that they don't have like more than one wife, because that's another tricky thing, because here you can have more than one wife. So if there's more than one
Why
wife,
is that, Rachel? Why is that?
because it's primarily a Muslim country. So some people do
Yeah.
opt to you have up to you can do up to 4 wives.
Hmm.
And some people do exercise their right to have more than one wife.
More than. Hmm.
And so when it comes to the land, you might be selling, but I think like if you have more than one wife, I think they have to like give like yeah, we can sell the land, or you have to find all the brothers or all the cousins or all the whoever. It can be tricky. So I would say there are 3 people that I follow on Instagram. who I think are very good real estate agents.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's I can't even I think their names. I'll give you the names afterwards so you can
Maybe,
like.
yeah, definitely. It would be good
But
to, to have them on
yeah,
so they can share. Yeah.
there's one lady. She's currently, because the last discussion I had with her, there was a farm. She's selling some farmland like out in Chess. And then there's this guy who I just discovered is a king. I was like, how are you a king? So in the Casamates, they still have kings. Yeah, they still have kings in the Casamates. So he is actually a person who sells land in the south of Senegal. And then the other day we were talking, and I realized that he was wearing the king color is red. So there's a way that the kings dress, and they wear this red. And I was like, because he was asking me about music, or I was asking him about land, and we were talking about something. And then I was like, are you a king now? Because he'll be the second person that I've met that has been installed as a king. I met another king
Oh,
before. And there's a third king that I know of also, but I've never met, the king of Osui.
all in Casamance.
Yeah, all in the Casamance. So there's a king of Osui.
Oh,
He's like the big king. Everybody knows him. He's like, people actually visit him. I remember the president, when he was running for his second term, he went and made sure he visited the king of Osui. And then there's smaller kings, lesser kings. One was installed, I think in 2019, I met him. He's really cool. He was like, I used to have locks, but I had to cut it. He's really cool. He was playing, it was so funny. We went there and he was playing popcorn. If you're Jamaican, you know popcorn. I went to his king place, his palace, his kingdom place,
yeah.
and he was playing Jamaican music. I was like, okay, you're a cool king. But this other guy that I'm talking about, he works in the Casamates and he sells land in the Casamates area. So I'll also give you his connection. But he's a king, and I kind of feel that there's a level of trustworthiness with him, because you cannot, he will know which land is what land and which land is not what land. So yeah, it's a very interesting.
Interesting. You can
Yeah,
say that again because it's happening all over Africa. That's what I can say. So it's very important that you actually know people that can assure you that this land is, you are actually the first person they are selling this land to, and there is no one coming after you as well purchasing that same land, because it's
yeah,
credible. That is just the reality.
yeah.
So Rachelle, how is Dakar treating you when it comes to the dating scene?
Oh,
Dakar, how is Dakar? Tell me, how is Dakar?
oh my gosh. It is obvious that the men of Senegal are beautiful. The women are beautiful. I mean, I think God was just like, you know what, Senegal, I'll just bless you with beautiful people. The people here are
Yeah.
beautiful. They're beautiful.
Oh,
I
black.
just beautiful. God has blessed Senegal with the beautiful people. And when I say beauty, it's not just even just their physical.
The
It's just
outside.
it's just the way, the mannerisms, the everything, the nature, the gentleness, the just So I don't know if I don't know. Should I be dating? I'm not sure. I'm writing a book. No one has time to talk to an author. You know how we authors are, very introverted. So, but yes, the guys here are beautiful, and I see them every day walking by.
Nice and polite.
I see them every day.
So
You know.
what's that, something that you say that you really, really love about Senegal?
Oh, Senegal, people make any experience. If you go to a club, if you go to a church, if you're going to work, if you're going to volunteer, if you're going to eat at a restaurant, it's really the people. The people are who really make your life experience. So I think that one of the beautiful things about the Senegalese people is because they practice teranga, which basically, if I were to sum it up, is like a hospitality. It's just like, you're here, you're not from here. They say these things that are so beautiful, like on est ensemble, we're all together.
Oh yeah.
On est ensemble. They love to say that, on est ensemble is constant, or if you're having a problem, it's Stop up in there, stop up in there. It will come, it will come. So they have this very
They are very
positive,
patient as well.
yes, and they have a very patient and very positive. I
Um,
mean, don't take kindness for weakness,
mhm.
but definitely don't take kindness for weakness, because when they're upset, they'll get upset. But it's just their default setting is we're together, and I think that
Mhm.
that is something. Could you imagine if more of us used to look at the rest of us and say, we're
Yes,
together,
we are
we're
together. We
together,
are one.
we're together, we
You
are
from
together.
Barbados, you from Jamaica, you from Ghana. We are one.
You
Till
from
that
yeah,
actually happened. That's where
yeah.
people around the world will respect us.
Yes,
You know,
and we are together. So I like
mhm.
that.
We are
I think
one.
that that's, yes, we are together.
Mhm.
And if I did put a second one, I think I love the respect that Senegalese people have for African Americans and for Jamaicans. Oh, they want to know you're Jamaica, Jamaica, they say. And I think that that's beautiful because, it's nice to know that I say, well, I'm not really from Jamaica. I'm near to Jamaica, but not quite. And then I say, like how, you have a next door neighbor, like so and so is your next door neighbor. But it's just beautiful to be loved and to be appreciated when you come. People are happy, like they love your African American culture, they love your Caribbean culture, they know who Rihanna is, they have a respect for that, and that makes you feel good. Yeah,
Mhm. I
it's
love that.
nice. Yeah.
And beautiful country as well. Very, very beautiful.
Yes. Yes. A
So have
beautiful
you been to
country.
the Pink Lake? Have you been there?
Not
That
yet.
is so beautiful.
I was talking about the Pink Lake up to today because I was telling someone that there's a place that I think you can go horseback riding that's near there, and I was like, it'd
Okay.
be nice to do a weekend. I love horses, and I was like, I'm thinking about checking out up there. I haven't been to Goree Island, and I don't think I'll ever go to Goree Island. That's a personal
Wow.
thing of mine.
Why just like you feel like
Um,
you're not mentally ready or you just
yeah,
feel
I
like
don't. I don't think I'm mentally ready. For
wow.
instance, I lived through 9/11 in New York. I lived through that.
Ooh,
I actually watched the towers fall because I worked very close to where it happened. And anyone who knows New York will tell you, anyone who knows me, I have not been below Canal Street, which is like Canal Street is like a kind of cutoff point. I have not been below Canal Street since 2001.
wow.
You understand? So and that's like a living situation. So for
Hmm.
me, like I'm sensitive in that way. I don't think that,
Together.
it is for everyone,
Everyone.
but I think that to be here and to touch African soil and to
Hmm.
put my foot in African water and to breathe African air and to take in the African sun, I think the
Hmm.
ancestors they'll let me go with that one. I don't think they need me to go to Goree, but yeah. But I will
Especially
visit Pink Lake. I
if
will Pink.
you don't want to, that that's fine. It's like I think few weeks ago I have some guests on,
Mhm,
and they were talking about castle where the what
mhm,
they normally call the slave castle in Ghana,
mhm,
and they haven't been there either. So I think it's also similar reason why they choose not to like visit yet. So if
yeah.
there is one thing you can change here about Senegal, because for me, I love us, but at the same time, I know that we have to understand each other when it comes to diasporans and continental Africans. So it's very important to know what we can do, how we can treat each other, and what is
Mhm,
expected as well.
yeah.
So if there is one thing you can change so far, what would that be and why?
Oh, that is the easiest question in the whole wide world
Okay.
because from the first day that I stepped foot in
Mhm.
Senegal and I
Mm.
saw what I saw, I knew what my
Mm.
one thing would be. I'm going to put it in this way.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
believe, I believe, no, it's nothing bad. It's just something that we can fix and it's something that I'm passionate about. So there's
We
a
are
lot
here.
of
We are here, Rachelle, to learn and
I,
fix things. So Oh, yes, okay.
So there's a lot of plastic, and this is how I've reasoned it to be. I remember, because you have to put it into context. When I
Right.
was young, growing up in Barbados, we had a campaign called "Tourism is our business. Let's do our part." Now, I'm personally not one that believes that I need to be motivated for tourists. I'm motivated for the people who live in a particular country. And one of the things that we had is that we were littering. Littering was a problem that we had, and this is back in like the early 90s, late 80s, and we would, just throw something, and we wouldn't think about it. So I remember when we went through this whole campaign about cleaning up, because there was a disconnect between when I take my sweetie or my candy out of a wrapper and I just let the wrapper blow in the breeze. That out of sight meant out of mind, which meant that the wrapper just mysteriously disappeared and went somewhere. Here, I've seen it because Senegalese people are people I think that are very much in touch with nature. But I think that there's a blind spot, and the blind spot is that plastic does not disappear. Plastic does not break down. And that when you let it go and it blows in the wind, it's not going to disintegrate just like that. And I thought about it, and I'm not saying that this is the reason why it happens, but I reasoned to myself, I said, plastic is a new invention. Plastic is something that is new to us in this earth, so to speak. Um, if you haven't, if you're accustomed that you buy a banana, you eat your banana, you just jet the skin. You eat a apple, you just jet the core. You eat whatever, you let it go, it disappears. So naturally now, when your food is coming in plastic, I think like the default setting is to think, oh, I'm eating, I just let it go and it'll just disappear. So I think I would love to do an educational program which brings the awareness of how the environment is being impacted with the plastic. Now, this is at the end of the thing, because really and truly the environment is being impacted by the plastic because people are producing products that they put in plastic. Let's even start there. So on a level of industry, on the industrial level, people are putting things in plastic. They're using packaging that is plastic, and sometimes they're not opting for biodegradable type of plastic. So if you buy a plastic bag, say you have a biodegradable plastic bag that like within 3 months or whatever will disintegrate and disappear, these are like the hard plastics that they're not going anywhere. So I think on the level of industry, our use of plastic, I would love to see a return or an incorporation. Like, for instance, when I bought baskets from my kitchen, my femme de menage, she was like, she took me to the market and she thought that I wanted a plastic basket to put my fruit in. I was like, no, I would like a natural. She's like, natural? You want a natural basket? I'm like, yeah. Because, first of all, a natural basket is made here. It is locally made. To me, buying it means I've supported an artisan. It's also better for the environment because it's made out of weeds and grasses or whatever not. And it's beautiful also. So, and then one of the things that they do is that they use the plastic from like other things. They recycle the plastic from other items to keep the basket, to create the basket as well. So it's a good way of repurposing plastic that is no longer being used. So one of the things I would love to do to see more garbage cans and to educate people, because people are intelligent. It's having a blind spot or a disconnect. It has nothing to do with intelligence. It's just a blind spot or a disconnect. It's just something that you have not connected that dot. You have not connected that when you drop the plastic on the street, that it goes into the drain, it backs up the sewer system, or if it goes into the drain, it washes out into the sea, or it washes down into the river, or it ends up in your water table. So when you are dredging your water from the well, you are actually imbibing, it's messing up the system. So I'm passionate about that. I wish I could meet someone or some people who would be passionate about it with me. I have songs in my mind about what I want to do. I could just see a whole nationwide effort. There are different ethnicities here and stuff, and like to communicate the message in
Mhm.
in a way that is both in general Senegalese and then on a smaller level to different ethnicities in a way that resonates with them.
Mhm.
So I see it like how you could have like a Caribbean message, but then you have a message that's Antiguan or Bajan or Jamaican, so but it's saying the same thing. So you have that layer, that general layer, and then a smaller layer. But yeah, the environment right now, we have an abundance of plastic and it's all over the place.
We need to do something about that.
I
And
know I need to take action.
yeah, maybe, it always starts with one person, and who knows? I think that person is you right there. Once you start, then another person will see, why it's so important, to recycle this plastic, what it's doing to the environment. It's all about education. You are a very calm, respectful person, so they will receive it well. So I would say, start with your Facebook group, and then, the rest will be history.
There are and there are people, don't get me wrong, there are people here who do cleanups. There are people
Mhm.
who, their organizations, they'll post in the same groups and they'll say we're doing a cleanup. And a cleanup is like, it go to me, a cleanup is effective in the moment, but it doesn't break the cycle that led to the cleanup.
That's
So,
the thing.
I am more so definitely you will not see me cleaning up a beach. I'm very clear about that. I'm not the person that will come to clean up the beach. I am the person that will try to send a message out and help people change their mindset so that we
Mhm.
don't have to clean up beaches. So I'm a more of the mindset person. Yeah.
Or you make the mess, you know where to put it.
Yes.
If you don't
Yes.
find any bin, put it in your bag.
And it's so funny because
Take it
people look
home.
at me weird when
Take
I'm
it
when I'm
home.
when I do the mints and I put them in
Mm.
my bag and sometimes people be like,
Take it
she's
home.
putting the garbage in her bag.
Yeah,
I'm
it's not
taking it
that hard.
home.
It's not
But
that hard.
it's
If
a
we can all
mindset.
think like that, that will solve this problem.
Yeah. So
And
it's
start
that.
with
Or
people.
even reduce our use of plastics and our
Yeah,
love for plastics because we have calabash. There are different things. Like if you go to market, you could take a basket. I see many
basket,
women do traditional
beautiful.
things. Yeah. So
These
maybe
people try this
you know,
as well.
yeah, so things
Mhm.
like that. So that is something that I would love to see happen.
Hmm.
A mass education project where, because Senegalese love Senegal, it's in their heart. This is their country. So we know she's loved already. So it's just now a matter of cleaning her up a little bit. Yeah.
Mhm. Uh, awesome. Thanks, Rachelle. You are a writer, and thanks for the gifts, for giving me your book, Kinsgston
Oh,
Burning. Yeah, I will be on break soon,
yes.
so I will have quiet time to read it. But thanks so much. I
You're
really appreciate
welcome.
that. I would love you to tell, us a little bit, what actually inspired you to write this book.
Okay, so this is my baby. It's
Yeah.
Kingston Burning. So what inspired me? I'm not gonna. It's just so much that was going on. There was so much that was going on in my head and in the country. It's a marijuana fiction. Let's get straight to the point. And as we can know that right now, marijuana is going through an entire gentrification process. I completed Kingstown Burning in 2018, but I was writing it bit by bit prior to that. So if you're into actions and adventures and you love Rastafari or you're interested in what it could be like when three women find themselves uh, in the crossfire of a Ganjo war. And what happens? Well, they need to go to Obia Man. Somehow this happens that they end up having to dip into the side of mysticism, and they go to Obia Man to help them combat what is happening. So it happens across the Southern Caribbean. One of our main characters, Judith, he's from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Most of the action plays out in Barbados in the lush green hills of St. John. And it basically gives a look at marijuana culture, Rastafari, Some people say there's some politics in there. I don't know. I don't think of myself as a political writer, but it basically looks at when all of these things intersect.
Hmm.
What happens, and we end up in this this thing that's burning. So
Yeah. Where
Kingston.
can people order your book?
So people can order my book. The default setting is Amazon. So you can definitely check Amazon no matter where you are in the world. It is both in ebook form and it is also, as you can see, it's in hard
Absolutely.
copy. Yes.
Hmm.
So you can order on Amazon. For you guys in England, I gave you the links. What is it? Waterstone
Yes.
and AfriBooks and
I think read or something. Yeah, I'll
yeah,
put
in
it in the
yeah,
comment
put it in the link. My
description
website is
box.
Yes, my website is RachelleJGray, .com. But the beauty of Google is if you put Kingston Burning or you put in
Hmm.
Rachelle Gray and Kingston Burning, all of the lists come up. So you can buy this book
Wow.
in India, in Australia. It's so amazing. Even the Netherlands, in Japan. In the Caribbean, you can definitely get it in Barbados at 4 locations. That's Black Rock Books, Days Books, Cloister Bookstore, and it's now at the Barbados Museum gift shop.
Oh,
Yeah, so
nice.
yes.
Nice, guys. Rachelle, tell the viewers where they can find you. I'm sure after this interview, some of them would love to connect with you. So go ahead
Oh,
and share your socials
so
with them.
so definitely, Lady Gray's World, Lady Gray's World. So even if you type in, again, you type in my name, Rachelle J. Gray, you'll see me come up in the search. But Lady Gray's World on Instagram and also Lady Gray's World on Facebook. And my email is Gray, like my last name, Gray, and then Rachelle, and the last name, oh, J. So yeah, GrayRachelleJ@gmail.com. If that's not the correct one, because for some reason, I don't know why I wouldn't know it, Miss Gray Works would work as well. I will give you everything that you can put in the description below. But yeah, you can meet me on just hit me up on my website, RachelleJGray.com, essentially. And Lady Gray's World.
Thanks, Rachel, for
I know
your time.
good about responding. I'm very good about responding. If you come into my DM and it's a correct type of DM, I will respond. I don't ignore people.
Are you listening? If it's the correct type, you get that part, right?
Because you came into my DM, right? You came into my DM and I responded to you and now we're here,
Yes.
correct? Because you came with the correct type of DM. So
So
you
become correct.
so come correct. Because she came, she was like, "Hi sister, I've seen you. Will you be on my show?" I was like, "Yes, sister, I will be." It's the correct DM.
Love that, Rochelle. Thanks so
Yeah.
much for your time and for sharing your experience, in Senegal. It's
Thank you.
so important to have guests like yourself sharing, the transition, because that is something that, is quite challenging, moving from one continent to another, and especially if you don't have no connection, in that specific country. So each time, that's why I try to have different guests from different countries on the continent, so they can share, and hopefully, the viewers can learn from, their experiences. So thanks so much, and I wish you all the best. Any last word for brothers and sisters in the diaspora before
Well,
we round up?
well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you having me. I think one of the things that people in the diaspora have to realize is that each of us will have our own experiences. We're
Mm,
going to have our own experiences when we get here. But the best thing to do is to know that, if it's hard, that's life. Life is hard. And when it's easy, that's life. Life is easy. So don't let the journey, stray you away. And also, Africa is like 50 plus countries. Just because you speak English, just because you speak English doesn't mean that um, an anglophone country is the place for you to go. You
Sure.
know, it doesn't mean that. It just means that you have the same colonizer history. It doesn't mean that that's what's in your spirit.
Well
So
said.
I'm just saying, so sometimes you have to tap into your spirit and you have to trust that, you know, that you're making the right decision. And my final thing would be definitely must advise. My final thing would be do not come to be a colonizer in black skin. Let us not be
Oh, I
let
love
us let us not be colonizers in black skin, which will require us
that. Volume,
to
please. Volume, please.
it will require us to look at ourselves, look at the thoughts that we hold, look at the things that we say, look at the perceptions that we have, because we are coming from a place of monetary power. You know, the dollar is stronger, the euro is stronger. So sometimes you have to humble yourself and realize certain things, but definitely don't be a colonizer in black skin, and know that decolonizing yourself is an ongoing process. That's my
Wow.
thoughts. Those are my thoughts. That's it.
Merci, 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 Rachel. Là, comme vous pouvez le voir, on a passé tellement un bon moment avec Rachel. Et Rachel, elle a écrit le livre Kinsgston Burning, qui est disponible sur son site. Je vais mettre ça dans la barre de description et aussi sur Amazon. Donc, où que vous soyez, vous pouvez avoir ce book, vous pouvez commander le book, son livre, pardon, sur Amazon ou son site. Et elle est aussi, comme je l'ai dit, la fondatrice de iCune. Mais bon, iCune, ça ne fonctionne plus. Donc, c'est pour ça qu'on n'a pas parlé de iCune. Mais elle a aussi partagé son expérience vivant au Sénégal. Et avec ce qu'elle a partagé ce soir, je peux dire qu'elle est en train de passer un très, très bon moment au Sénégal. Les frères et sœurs sénégalais font du bon boulot avec notre sœur ici. Donc, je suis très, très, très contente. Et là, ce qu'elle a partagé aussi avec nous, c'est l'importance du recyclage. Donc, c'est quand même une question que je pose souvent à mes invités. S'il y a quelque chose que eux, ils peuvent changer sur le continent là où ils sont là, ils sont libres de partager ça avec nous. Et ce que Rachel a partagé, c'est l'importance du recyclage. Donc, là, j'espère que les frères et sœurs qui sont au Sénégal vont travailler ensemble avec notre très, très jolie sœur ici pour organiser, en fait, même si c'est aller dans les écoles, parler, éduquer les enfants en partageant avec eux l'importance de faire les recyclages, ce sera très, très, très bien. Donc, j'aimerais profiter de l'occasion pour remercier mes frères et sœurs sénégalais. Vous êtes en train de faire un très, très, très bon boulot avec notre sœur. Et comme elle a dit aussi, ensemble, we are together. On est
Yes,
ensemble.
on est
Donc,
ensemble.
la sœur soit de la Jamaïque ou bien Martinique ou bien Barbados, Togo, Ghana, on est ensemble. Donc, grand, grand, grand merci à mes frères et sœurs sénégalais. Donc, si vous êtes entrepreneur et vous voulez aussi me joindre ici, ou bien vous avez quitté l'Occident pour aller s'installer au Sénégal, vous pouvez m'envoyer un message sur Instagram et vous serez en mesure de me joindre ici pour partager votre expérience, pour inspirer d'autres personnes. J'espère que vous avez aimé le live de ce soir. Moi, j'ai beaucoup, beaucoup aimé ce live parce que Rachel, elle est formidable, simplement formidable. Donc, si c'est votre première fois, n'oubliez pas de liker, partager ce live avec la famille et les amis et abonnez-vous aussi. À très, très, très bientôt et bonne soirée. So, Rachel,
Yes.
merci beaucoup et je
Merci.
te souhaite le meilleur au Sénégal. So, guys, thanks so much for tuning in tonight, and I will see you all next week, Wednesday, same time, with another special guest all the way from Ghana. Take care for now. Good night.